or welcome back to the channel. There's only 2 months left before the year ends, but I figured it was finally time to film my 2025 planner ecosystem. I'm gonna be so honest, I really wanted to film this earlier, but I didn't like my nails, so I was kind of waiting until I did a new set, which brings us to today. Look at how pretty these are. But anywho, I have 3 journals in front of me. Side note, these took me 5 hours, so it's currently 4 a.m. So if I'm rambling and not making sense, I apologize. And my cats are playing in the background. This is also my first time sitting down and making a long form chatty planner video, so please bear with me. I'm a little nervous, but disclaimers aside, let's begin. I'm gonna start with my main planner, which is the bulk of my ecosystem. Warning, this is going to be super chatty, I think. I'm just gonna be yapping. Get a snack, get a drink, pull out your planner, plan with me, do whatever. But here is my Kinbor planner. This is the planner for 2024. It is not 2024. This is the planner for 2025. I have this really cute denim cover that's got embroidered bows on it. I do have a clear cover on it, so I don't really get to feel the really cool embroidery of it, but it's very cute. I love this planner cover so much. I don't think anything will live up to this. I have this blue bow phone charm. I don't know where this is from. I got it as a gift, but I just have this hanging off the bookmark. That's it for the cover. But also, if this is your first time hearing about the Kinbor planner, this is basically a dupe for the Hobonichi. I love Kinbor so much. I've been using them for the past 3 years now. This is my 4th year. It's a way cheaper alternative to the Hobonichi weeks. Okay, the inside of my cover, I have this random sticker from a drink that I put on here that I was supposed to transfer into my journal, which I never did. But behind that, I have a cute cat sticker with a hat. I have a Maltese sticker to signify my dog. And then I have this Polaroid of my cats and I. This took so long to take, and this cute floral sticker, and that's about it for my decoration because it already came decorated a bit. There's like this gold foiled bow here and a little quote. And then really quick to the back cover, I have some more stickers here, more cat stickers. I have one of my Twitch emotes as a sticker here, and then a printed photo of my cats. And then I have these 2 sticker sheets. I think these are both from Daiso. This one is just a flower design, and then here are just dot stickers for my note section, which we'll see later. And then I have 2 random stickers here. I never use the bookmarks in my planners, so I usually just tape them down in the back here. Inside cover's out of the way. Let's get into the planner. Oh, another cat sticker. I don't really use my yearly overview. I tried marking down paydays and my period, but I kind of fell off after 3 months in. So don't really refer back to this at all. And then here's the yearly index. I love the yearly index of the Kinbor because it spans 3 pages, so it gives you so much space to write stuff, whereas Hobonichi is all on 1 page. But here I do 2 things. On the top and bottom, I have it as a media tracker, and then for the dailies, I just put a highlight of the day, so something unique that happened that day or something fun that I want to remember, I put down here. I was kind of consistent with it, and then I fell off for a few months, and then I have gotten back into it now, but I need to go back and fill things in, I think. As for my media tracker at the top and bottom, I have this little key that I have for movies, shows, and books, and I just write down, movies, shows, and books that I had consumed during that month. It's kind of hard for me to see what you can see, but for example, if I'm watching a show, I'll write down the season and the episodes that I watched, and then movies, books I'll put in here. Pretty straightforward, I think. I just like to see how often I'm watching things or when I'm completing stuff, especially for books. But moving on, then we go into our monthlies. I kind of just use this as a regular monthly planner. So I just write down events, I decorate it with stickers that kind of correlate to that month, whether it's a holiday or a color or something that's happening that month. Like for example, I moved in July. So for July, I put in like furniture and stuff here. Otherwise, I'll do color scheme. So June is very like summer month, very bright. So it's yellow here. May is orange, got flowers going on. April showers reminds me of blue, so I have blue stickers. Pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, I'll just write in, birthdays, holidays, events that I have going on, work days, whatnot. And I'll use the side as a running to-do list for the month or things that I want to get done. I don't really use my monthly calendar as a future planner, so I don't write things in advance, kind of. I kind of just back plan in here. I don't really refer back to my monthlies when I'm planning on a day-to-day basis, to be honest. I kind of just come in here every few days to update it, or at the beginning of the month to decorate, or at the end of the month to fill it in. That's about it. Nothing crazy in the monthlies. For my future log, I have my resolutions over here and then some goals for the year. And then I really like this, but I like doing my own nails. So I just printed out a picture every month of the set that I had that month because I usually leave them on for about 3 weeks. They last a really long time for me. So 3 weeks is kind of perfect, one set per month. So I just print out a little picture of the nails that I had that month and I paste them in here. It's really satisfying to look at actually. So this will be going in for the November. Then moving on to the weeklies. I kind of use them the exact same way, literally every single week this year. I have not strayed away from my template. It's worked for me. I'm gonna keep doing it, I think. I do post Plan With Me's weekly on TikTok if anyone is interested in the process, but a quick rundown, I basically just find one sticker sheet, which, hold on. So I get these stickers in bulk on either Temu or AliExpress, but they come in like a pack of 100 to 200, and they're just these sheets of stickers with a bunch of different themes. I have a lot of these. I've purchased like 4 separate times now of 100 to 200 each time, so you can just imagine how many of these sticker sheets I have. The reason for that was because I have a fear of using up stickers, so I figured let me just make it a habit to use up one entire sheet every single week, which I've been pretty consistent at. So every week I have a different sticker, whether it's a specific theme to fit that week of something that I'm doing or just a randomly picked sticker. For example, we've got Lunar New Year week, so I have Lunar New Year themed stickers. Otherwise, it's just bread. I don't know. Valentine's week, we've got a pink spread. TLDR, I just pick a sticker sheet for the week, use up all those stickers, and then I pick a color that coordinates with that sticker sheet, and I write stuff in. So a deeper dive into the system, I always draw this divider over here and I split it up with all of my events on the left side. So whether it's work or stuff I'm doing with friends or if I'm streaming, anything like that goes on the left, and then all of my tasks go on the right side here. And then I just use a very simple method of using a dot and then Xing it out, and that's it. I don't really do migrating or anything. It's just crossed out or not. And then for the little column here that's divided by the pre-drawn line, I call this my self-care column, which I basically use as a documentation of how I spent the night. So I have quite a few different hobbies and I like to see what I'm spending my time on. More often than not, I am probably gaming, but I have different things like planning in here, going to see shows, you know, going on dates, watching TV, stuff like that. So I have different icons dedicated to each category. And it's not necessarily just hobbies, you know, I'll write whatever I did that night. So, you know, when I was moving and I was unpacking and like building furniture and stuff, I drew that in as well, which was in July. Let's see here, I have packing. Okay, I did not fill this week out. Housework, you know, just random things that I'm spending my nights on. That's this column. And then on the right hand side, I put my running to-do list for the week. I'll usually, at the beginning of the week, I will write down everything that I want to get done, and then throughout the week I'll fill in things that I think of on a spot. Again, this is a very straightforward way of using a planner. So yeah, just tasks, and then I have a category for to post, so I can stay on top of samples that I need to put out on the TikTok shop, or you know, keeping up with my stationery account that I now have. It just helps my brain to write down everything that I need to do down. And then I have this little habit tracker at the bottom. For the most part of the year, I had the exact same habits. I've only just recently started to switch things up because I realized I have different habits that I want to form. But I just have like play my Infinity Nikki dailies, put on some lotion. My hands are always so dry. Write down my highlight of the day, do my cuticle oils, and then put on my retainers. So it kind of just varies along those lines. Oh my goodness. That's about it in terms of how I use my planner. I'm just gonna do a quick flip through, I guess, for some inspiration. I love the crinkle of this paper. The Kinbor planners use 52 GSM as well, but it's called Botchan paper. Although they are switching up their Kinbor Weeks paper for next year, which I think is so ridiculous. I'm really upset about that. Their new paper is 72 GSM, so it's significantly thicker. I'm really gonna miss the crinkliness of this paper, but I digress. We are approaching this week. Okay, that's it for the weekly stuff. Now, moving on to the notes pages. I've notoriously never used indexes before in my bullet journals. I don't know why I even put this down. I just figured just in case if I wanted to do it, I didn't. But I have an index here, and then I have a key of different categories that I typically write with. This is technically the common placing method, but I don't know if what I do is considered common placing. But yeah, I just have trackers, lists, content / gaming, notes, and then etc. And this is where my dot stickers that I showed earlier comes into play. For this, I kind of just have random things in here. Got my adulting log. I love Lindsay Scribbles, so I took that from her. I have a social stats tracker. I have extra income tracker. This just allows me to see how much money I'm earning on the side as passive income. I have this cool words page, which I didn't really fill out this year. I've got 4 things in here. Very fun. Cool words, kind of self-explanatory. I have some Infinity Nikki stuff here. Emote ideas, video ideas, just different things that I want to write down. I have a brain dump. Here I was just taking notes on different moving companies to prepare for my move, and then I drew out a floor plan. I just have a bunch of random things in here, really. I honestly don't even use my note pages that much. I would say like half of these only appeared within the last few months, so I don't really use these that often. Another tracker in here, and then here I'm just planning out for my 2026 lineup, which, spoiler alert, I will be making a video on that too. Crochet notes, traveling stuff, and that's about it. This is literally a trip for in a few days. So there's 82 note pages in here, and I am up to page 22. There are some back pages here that I don't use either. I was supposed to use this as a personal wish list, never got to it, but I did recently try to use the favorite pages as a personal wish list, kind of, or more of like a running list of things that I want to get. And then if I get them, I'll write down the day I got it. So I'll write down the date that I wanted the thing, and then if I got it, I'll write down the day that I did get it. So this is supposed to help me with my impulse purchases, but I actually don't really come in here that often either. I've got 3 things so far, but I've definitely wanted more things. So next year I will try to do better at this. I think I need a tab for this section, but this was just me practicing because I was experimenting with different layouts I want to try out for my 2026 planner. So this is just one of those ideas. Other than that, I don't use anything in the back here. That is it for my week's planner. And then I have this cute pencil board from Yumi Kirakishi. This is the Hobonichi pencil board for their Hobonichi weeks. I don't know how long that was, but that was only one planner. So let's move on to the next one, which is another Kinbor planner. This one is their Undated Vertical Weekly. I got it in this brick red, and then I put a bunch of like green and red stickers in the front. And that's it for my decor. So the reason I wanted an undated cover is because this is my memory keeping planner, which you'll see in a second, but I got an undated one just to experiment with this layout and see if I could be consistent with it. Here I have another Polaroid of me and my cats. This was actually a first take of that other Polaroid that I had that didn't go as well because one of my cats isn't looking, so it's been put in here. And then, these are pictures I had for a Hear Me Out cake that are just in here. So yeah, don't mind that. I'm just gonna hide Bob Duncan. Oh, I have another picture of my cats. Very obsessed mother over here. Yearly overview, did not touch. Waste of time filling this out at all, actually. Did not touch my yearly plan or future log as well. I had the expectation that I was going to use this for like a collage and like write notable dates here, but I kind of forgot this page existed actually. Okay, there's a theme going on in this planner. I was not super consistent in it. Gonna get that out right now. Yearly index was supposed to be my stream tracker. Fell off after 3 months, but I would just write down the category streamed and then the average viewer count on the side. And then the top I was gonna write down different highlights from things. So, you know, like getting 100 subs or like making emotes, just things that, you know, were really important to me and stood out. So those are there. And then nothing else. I do want to try this again though, just because I like documenting stuff. I'm just really bad at remembering to do it. So a lot of the times I just go in and I back plan, but I kind of just gave up here. Maybe next year. For the monthly spread, I used it for 2 things. One, I wrote down the daily Wordle. I do the daily games basically every single day. So I have all the Wordles up here, and then I use this as a doodle per day. So this works with my daily highlights in the other planner. I kind of just draw whatever the highlight of the day was, and then I write like a little brief description. So this is kind of a deeper dive into what the highlight was. So for example, over here, I wrote Tony Stank on Marvel Rivals. This was the first day I started playing Marvel Rivals. So probably in my other planner, I wrote down, tried out Marvel Rivals, but then here I write something a little different, if that makes sense. I was okay with it. Oh, and then I also printed out pictures of interesting things from that month with a thermal printer, just playing around with it. It was actually really fun doing a little doodle every day. I'm not really great at drawing, which is why I wanted to do this, to kind of force myself to get better, but I fell off the overarching trend. It is fun though. It's super fun. I'm definitely gonna pick this back up next year. I will definitely be going into backplan because I do have all the highlights for in down. I just need to actually write them down, or have it typed up rather. I keep a document, or like a running document of everything I want to eventually transfer into my planners or journals. It's just really hard for me to do it physically. I'll get there. So yeah, this is completely empty. I just wrote in the Wordle answers, put in the stickers, did nothing else, and I'm missing stickers for the entire second half of the year. But that's okay. We move on. Here is the weekly spread. So again, this is a vertical undated. So you can just write in the dates. The reason I got an undated was because, again, I was kind of experimenting, seeing if I could be consistent with this. And I did a really great job for like the first month, I think, until I fell off. But I realized that even if I end up skipping a few weeks or a few days of not writing in here, I always try to go back and backline anyways. So it was kind of pointless of me to get the undated version. But you know, that's what the whole point of experimenting is. So for next year, I already purchased a dated version, which is slightly bigger than this. This is kind of similar to the week size, but not really. It's a little bit bigger. Here's the comparison. But for next year, I got an A5. And now let me explain how I'm using this as I flip through. So, you know, I fill out the dates. So every week I have a different color of the week, you know, as I was talking about the stickers. And I use the same marker for both planners. So for example, this week in February, if I use brown, that's the accent color for both of these planners, just to make it a little easier for myself. So I would just go and fill out the dates, fill out the weather of the week, and then at the top, I would just track my meals. Please don't look too closely at that, okay? I am a new adult. I don't really like cooking, so don't look, okay? It's a lot of leftovers. Don't judge me. But yeah, meals at the top, and then the rest of the days are kind of just memory keeping, you know, as the whole point of this planner was for me. So in all of my previous planners, here's my Kinbor planner from 2024, the actual 2024 planner. In my previous planners, I used to do a thing where I would write down little notes on the side or somewhere of just random things that happened during the day. For example, here I've got a new keyboard, what switches I got, tried blowout rods, binge watched a TV show, random things that I did during the day, just because I like knowing, having things written down, because if I don't write it down, I will forget. Like I truly don't remember anything that happened maybe like 2 days ago, unless I refer back to my planner or my journal. So that's kind of why I love writing everything down, because otherwise it just slips my brain. So yeah, I used to write down a bunch of, I guess, mini highlights. So not necessarily like something super important that I have to remember, but just little fun things that, you know, I might want to look back on in the future. So that's literally the whole purpose of this planner. Everything here is just, you know, kind of what I did that day. Little fun notes here and there, kind of highlights too. And the way I like to plan in here is I will use little icon stickers to mark down different things. So, you know, I'll just write down work, what I did at work, different things that I streamed, what episodes of what show I watched, what movie I watched, maybe mini reviews, books that I'm reading, stuff like that. And then at the bottom, there's a little section that I use as a daily journaling log. Let me show you a blank page actually, so you see what this spread looks like. So usually I do dates, meals, daily memory keeping, and then a mini journaling section of the day. So like maybe 3 to 5 sentences of journaling. That's about it. On the days where it's a little slower and I don't have as much to write about, I'll just find a coordinating colored washi tape and stick it in. But yeah, I use a lot of these icon stickers. I love using these different sticker rolls in here, which let me show you those. I've got this giant box of sticker rolls that are all from either Temu or AliExpress. If you look up sticker rolls, I'm sure you'll find some of these. And I just check like the recommended tab of everything, and then I find more and more, and then I get everything, and then we have a big box of sticker rolls. But essentially what these are is exactly as it's called. It's a roll of stickers. And I love these. This is upside down. I love these so much because there's a lot of repeating designs, and as I mentioned earlier, I have a fear of using up stickers. So when there's duplicates, I use these like crazy. And there's so many duplicates because it's an entire roll of the same stickers over and over again. But the thing is, like, there's a shit ton of stickers. There's a shit ton of designs on here. So there's a lot of variety. I'll do a quick run through. I have a bunch of different themes. You know, this one's like a daily life theme. There's a car, there's a tent, fence, random stuff, umbrella, gift, books, a kite. And then I have a bunch of food ones for here. Then I have a few stationery / work related things. These are just animal icons. There's a cat and a capybara set. I like using these to just signal random things because there's interesting designs on here. Like there's some reading ones. There's one with a phone, so if I'm having like a FaceTime session, I'll use that. Just different different designs for different things. But also I try not to be like super exact because there are so many stickers in here. I just use like whatever comes to mind, or at least I try to. I do have a lot of decision paralysis because again, there are so many options, but I am getting better at not thinking too hard or not being so exact. Like for example, if I went ice skating, I'm not gonna spend an hour looking for a specific ice skating sticker, you know? I'll just pick something that kind of relatively fits the theme. Let me show you how crazy these are. Do you see how many stickers are in here? It's an entire roll of stickers. This is so thick. I have stickers for days essentially. But yeah, those are the sticker rolls. So almost every single sticker you see here comes from that. And every little entry that I write in here, I separate with either a sticker or a drawn icon. So I have a few drawn icons that I repeat throughout the week. So for example, there's a gaming one. I'll do one for reading. I'll do one for TV shows. I'll do one for shopping or receiving packages. And I will use the accent color to highlight anything extra special that happened that day, or things that I want to stand out on the page, I guess. But yeah, it's such a fun creative outlet for me. I love writing in here. I'm just sometimes a little bit busy and I don't want to spend, you know, the extra like 20 minutes documenting in here, but it's so rewarding being able to flip through this. Like the amount of serotonin I have right now from looking at this is crazy. So I will definitely be doing this again. Oh, hello. We have a visitor from Apollo. I did fall off mid-year. I think this is all me back planning. So if you see blanks, it's because I went back to document stuff. Again, I write down everything so I can transfer it down on paper later. But obviously because the daily journaling I didn't do that day, it's hard for me to find things to talk about or write about. So there are a lot of blanks. I'm going to figure out what I want to do with that eventually. But I highly recommend doing a memory keeping planner of some sort if this interests you, if you're like me and you forget everything but you don't want to, or you just are looking for an extra creative outlet. And it's like, it's honestly not a lot of upkeep. Like I know it looks like a lot of writing, but these are like just tiny tidbits of my day. So for example, I just have a bunch of like gaming stuff in here. You know, I'll write down who I played with, how many games I won. It's really just a mixture of how I spent the day and anything notable that happened. So anything that I deem worthy of writing down, you know, it's very subjective. So I enjoy this a lot, and we are almost caught up to the current week again. It's so satisfying flipping through this. I love it so much. Look at this. Minus the blanks. Like imagine the entire book filled out. Like how cool would that be, you know? Next year I'll be doing that. And then I did not use the note pages at all because I have so many note pages already. I don't really care for it. Here I just have a pen test. I don't even know what pages are back here. I never look here. Oh, there's a movie list and a book list. Huh. Well, that's it for my memory keeping planner. I just taped the back again. Not much decoration going on in here. But that's that. Now for my third thing, it technically should not belong in here because I only started using it last month. But here is an A6 Stalogy notebook. And the reason I am in here is because I purchased an A6 Kinbor Techo for next year, spoilers. And I wanted to practice and see if I could keep up with daily journaling and kind of get a feel for it because I was really excited to start using it, but obviously it's not 2026 yet, so this was my remedy, I guess. I got this book back in like 2023 because I wanted to do daily journaling, but I quickly fell off. What a shocker. And the reason for that, I think, is because if I don't have something dated, it's hard for me to keep up with it because I'm just like, oh, well, I can do it whenever I want. And then I end up not doing it at all. So that's why I want to switch back into a dated book because I think that just holds me a bit more accountable. But let me show you my 2023 spreads really quick. This is just like a daily journaling slash like scrapbook slash junk journal slash whatever, another creative outlet essentially. I would paste things in from my day, and then I had these like date stickers that I would mark down. And overall, it was just fun to have a place to draw and just put down random thoughts that I had. And when I was journaling daily, it forced me to reflect on the day or reflect on things in life in general. But also it could have just been a fun thing. Like here's a review of Zoolander. What a good movie. This was peak. Just drawing random things in here. Okay, this is all old stuff. Let me go to, okay, 2025. Not that far off. Okay, I started on Halloween of this year and I have been pretty consistent since then. Again, I'm just trying to practice for next year and see if I can keep up with it. I picked A6 because I used to have a hobonichi cousin, which is an A5 size, and I liked it a lot. I used most of it. This was back in college, so I was pretty busy. I don't know how I even did all that. And then after that, I tried using different Kinbor cousin dupes, and I couldn't keep up with it. And so I figured, let me downsize, try an A6 planner, see how I enjoy it, see if it's feasible for me. And so far, I think it is. In fact, I kind of run out of space some days. So it's been nice having this Undated book because I can have multiple days when I have a lot of things to paste in or a lot of things that I collected. So when I only have one page per day, I think I'm going to struggle a little bit, actually. There's not going to be enough space, but I'd rather have less space than too much space. Actually, I feel like it's the other way around usually, but I figure if I have any leftovers for next year, I'll just put it in my larger journal, which, oh, I forgot that existed. That's part of the ecosystem too, technically. But yeah, here are my last spreads this month. Just random things. I literally didn't do anything this day, so I just put a washi tape sample. Just anything to get the creative juices flowing, you know. I have a show review over here. I have a musical review. It makes me so happy looking at these finished spreads too. It's like, I did that, you know? Yeah, there's not a lot on here because, again, I kind of just started. But this was from today. And then I have another hobonichi pencil board. This is from the Tamagotchi collection. And then I just have a sticky note on here of different prompts or different ideas that I could journal on days that I don't have anything to paste in or don't have anything to talk about or write. I have things that I wanted to write in here, but never had the time because I always had stuff to put in. So on a rainy day, I will refer to this. But that's it for this. This is just a plain A6 Stalogy notebook. And I have this strawberry elastic band that I got off of AliExpress to keep it shut because it is getting thicker by the day. Okay, here's my last thing in the ecosystem, and I think it speaks volumes that I completely forgot to include this at all. This is a Kinbor A5 journal, just a blank grid notebook. I decorated the cover with these really cute pink and yellow stickers. This is kind of just like a junk journal / journal, I guess. I have my 2025 personal bingo over here. This was just an extra print that I had and I just stuck it there. But like I said, this is a sort of scrapbook almost. So things that I paste in, pictures, stuff like that. It was a blank grid. It wasn't dated, so really hard for me to keep up with. But I kind of just came in here whenever I had a lot to paste in or if I had pictures that I wanted to print out and stuff. Just a basic standard journal, I guess. I love the spread so much. This one makes me happy. I have a few simple interactive pieces like flip outs and stuff. But say it with me now, I fell off for this. Well, I mean, I wasn't even planning on using this consistently, but like I really just have not touched this in months and I've been meaning to get back into it. I have a lot of things I need to paste in. So one of these days I'll do a big backlog. Here's my 2025 bingo that I need to figure out how I want to cross stuff out. I don't know if I want to cross it out or put a sticker on top or if I want to have like a clear sheet on top and then cross it out that way so I can still refer to the full thing uncrossed, if that makes sense. But I did do a few things. I didn't get bingo yet this year. I don't think I will. It's a fun idea and I will be doing this again for next year. And then I did this painting over here with the very basic quotes. Change is scary, but so is staying the same. I just painted this on my sketchbook and then I cut it out and pasted it in here. Just random things glued in. This was a advent calendar that someone made for me. It was the cutest gift ever. I loved it. So put all of the dates in here. And then this was like my plan. I wanted to do a monthly recap where I would print out a bunch of pictures and then write about them. I collected a lot of pictures. I did not end up gluing them in. I only did it for January. Did I do it for February? No, I didn't. But I printed out pictures for like February, March, and April, but I just never had time to sit down and really document, I guess. And then after that, I got too lazy picking out pictures of the month because my camera roll is the most cluttered thing in the world. I have like 100 pictures of my cats every single day, so I didn't want to go in and look through highlights of the month anymore. But it was a fun idea. I do like this a lot. I wish I had the patience to do it again, but it is what it is. More just random journaling. And then I was supposed to write stuff. This was my first time reading the Harry Potter series, and I had a lot of thoughts after book 5 specifically, but I forgot all of those thoughts because I didn't journal when I finished it. But giant blank page for me to fill out. And then same thing with the Cobra Kai show. Finished that, and I was like, wow, that was an amazing finale. Let me write about it. I made these collages on Canva, printed them out, and then they're blanks. One day, I'll pull some things out of my ass and fill it up, but not anytime soon. Then I have a bunch of my Taylor collection stuff here. And that's it. That's where I fell off. Here's just some things that I need to paste in. I have a lot more elsewhere, but yeah, hardly used. We'll get back to it. This will be joining me in 2026. I'm just gonna keep using this until it gets filled up. Okay, and that is the ecosystem. I think that was really chatty, so if you're still with me, thank you for sticking around. I hope that was enjoyable. I've been meaning to do one of these for the longest time, so it's finally out there. I love all things planner related. It has been my hobby ever since like 2013, I want to say. So I have been here for a hot minute, and I'm really excited to be making stationery content now. So if you're not following my TikTok account, it is just at vicariouslyxvlogs, where again, I post weekly plan with me's. I post all things planner related there as well. And YouTube shall be where I put all of my longer form content where I kind of just yap and don't stop talking. So quick TLDR of my planner ecosystem. This is an A6 Stalogy. I just use this as daily journaling. Here is an Undated Kinbor vertical planner for my memory keeping. Blank Kinbor A5 grid journal, just for like scrapbooking / junk journaling. And then the Kinbor weekly planner for 2025 for my weekly planning. Okay, it's like 5 a.m. so that'll be it for me today, but thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more planner stuff, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But I hope everyone has a wonderful morning, afternoon, and or evening. Thanks for hanging out. I will catch you next time.